surrendered the home court edge in the West. So far, it's a different story in the East, where the Nets head to Charlotte up 2-zip, and the Pistons tonight are going to try to take that same advantage before this best-of-7 moves on to Boston. It's Game 2 from the Palace of Auburn Hills, and we turn it over to Dick Stockton.
All right, Ernie, and the Palace of Auburn Hills is sold out tonight. And that means a thundering setting as two long-time and intense playoff rivals duel for the second time in their showdown. And now it is up to the Boston Celtics to respond to an opening game triumph by the Detroit Pistons. Well, it's great to see these two teams, Hubie, again with that rich playoff tradition. However, these players want to establish an identity of their own. And the Celtics were very un-Boston-like in losing game number 1. But they had a quick turnaround after the emotional Game 5 victory. Less than 48 hours, had to go at it again. How much of a factor was it?
Well, Dick, having been there as a coach, the emotion after the game, incredible. Less than 36 hours, you have to prepare your team, have a practice session, travel to the foreign city, and then expect to have your team perform. A ragged game is what happens the majority of the time. We'd like to back this up with a chart of some stats at the offensive end. 38% shooting. How about 6 for 19 and 3-point? This is one of the best teams in the league. Now, Pierce and Walker, two guys who average on a normal night 8 makes between them at 3-point line, 1 for 10. But T at the center position, then backed up by McCarty and Rogers. You can see the three guys, they go a 2 for 13. Now, the Celtics did do some good things. They got to the line 21 times. They forced 14 turnovers. They win the battle of the paint, fast break, and second chance point. All they have to do, step back, relax, get in their game plan.
All right, Hubie, and of course the Celtics have not won on the road in the playoffs, and they know they're going to have to win at least one to defeat the Detroit Pistons, who gave the Celtics a dose of their own medicine with 3-point bombs and scoring from unlikely sources.
Well, Michael Corey is the first unlikely source. Now, in the 5-game series with Toronto, he started, averaged only 16 minutes. He comes in, plays 40 minutes, gives you 15 points. Cliff Robinson struggled, averaged 10 points a game in the series with Toronto. He gets you 30. But the big stat for the two guys is they were 9 for 13 in threes. And then we had Jerry Stackhouse step up with a monster game. Sure, he got the 26 points, but the 50% from the floor. How about 11 rebounds for a 2-guard? And then he came in with the 8 assists and the 2 blocks. But when you think in Detroit, always think defense first. They had 10 shot blocks. Ben Wallace, 5. They forced 14 turnovers. They got you out in the open floor. They hold Boston to low field goal and 3-point percentages. Then, at the offensive end, 24 assists. Great ball movement against the half-court defense. Got it to the opposite side, and they make 12 threes. Dick, that is a ton.
Well, guess what? It's time for another postseason award here in Detroit, and they've garnered most of them. And right now, for the presentation of the IBM Coach of the Year Award and the Red Auerbach Trophy, let's join our public address announcer, John Mason.
NBA fans, please direct your attention to center court and welcome Vice President of Sales from IBM, Bill Luce, and Hall of Fame Pistons coach Chuck Daly. They will now present Rick Carlisle with this year's IBM Coach of the Year Award. Let's hear it for the Pistons' very own Coach of the Year, Rick Carlisle.
Best of 7 between the Celtics and the Pistons. Right now, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by Circuit City. And the same group, it'll be Antoine Walker, Eric Williams, Tony Battie, with Paul Pierce and Kenny Anderson for Boston. Michael Curry, Ben Wallace, Clifford Robinson up front for the Pistons. with Jerry Stackhouse and Chucky Atkins at guard. And right now, let's send it over to the third member of our team, Heather Cox.
Dick, in the Celtics' first round, Paul Pierce had what he considered to be a subpar performance, then turned around for a 46-point annihilation of the 76ers. Well, in game one of this series, Pierce was frustrated. Just 17 points on 17 shots. And now Pierce is in that position where he can become a little bit dangerous. And today, what was a war on the court turned into a war of words.
We played a poor game last game, and we still had a chance to win in the fourth. So, you know, I just feel confident in my ball club that we're a better team.
You know, they are a talented team, and you know, but we happen to believe our guys, you know, have some talent too, and you know, that's why you play these games, to find that out.
Oh yeah, I mean, when anyone's talking trash, you want to shut them mouth. So hopefully, at the end of this series, we'll be the ones doing the talking.
And Paul's comments seem to have added a little fuel to the Pistons' fire as well. Only time will tell how the comments will motivate both these teams tonight. Dick, back to you.
All right, Heather. Paul Pierce, who is under 20 points for the first time in the playoffs, and everyone knows he is going to come out aggressive for the start of this game. And it was really un-Celtic-like on Sunday, and we'll see what the Pistons do in response tonight. The officials working game two: Bernie Fryer, Jack Nees, and Mark Wonderlich.
Major matchup for Detroit. Cliff Robinson not only scored the 30 points, but he gave you 46 minutes, and the matchup is Antoine Walker. Cliff Robinson must stay out of foul trouble, because if he goes out of the game, Detroit has a tough cover with Walker.
And you know, the Boston Celtics live and die by the threes, and they died by the three-point shooting. 6 of 19, as Hubie mentioned. Walker and Pierce 1 for 10, and that is a staggering number as we go over that again.
The thing to watch out for in this series, remember, is that both teams launch a ton of threes. In the playoffs, the Celtics are averaging 24 a game, the Detroit Pistons 20.
And as we get started, we want to welcome those watching in Canada on TSN. There's the three-point story. The Celtics #1 in the league, the Pistons 5th. And they set a club record in the playoffs with the 12 three-pointers, and Clifford Robinson tying Bill Laimbeer's playoff record by making 6 of them. So Bernie Fryer will toss it up underway. Celtics in their traditional green patrolling the tip.
Now the Celtics would like to take advantage of Stackhouse and Barry anytime that they match up with Williams or Pierce in the post area.
And they're looking for Walker inside, but Curry doing a good job preventing that pass. Now Bateen putting it up with 6 on the shot clock, and the rebound by Stackhouse.
Once again, 2 good offensive rebounding teams. Naturally, Detroit with Ben Wallace up front, but the Celtics are extremely active.
So Atkins and Anderson, the point guard matchup. 10 on the shot clock. Looking inside for Clifford Robinson. Did he explode in game 1? And going to the hoop with an off-balance shot.
That was a pretty good look. The main thing right now for Detroit, try not to give up. Fast break baskets, the transition game is big, and that's a major problem.
Antoine Walker has already equaled his three-point output from game 1.
See that stat where Walker and Pierce make 8 a night. That's over a full season, and also in the playoffs. That's why 1 for 10 was just, you know, kind of mind-blowing for anyone who follows the game.
Stackhouse misses from the corner, and he is defended by Paul Pierce, and not Eric Williams to start this game. So Pierce draws the tough assignment. Minute and a half gone by, 3-0 in favor of the Boston Celtics. And Pierce backing in against Stackhouse. Extra pass for 3. Williams hitting, and it's 6-0.
Now, during the playoffs, Eric Williams, a guy that people will give that jump shot to, is shooting 70% in threes. That's the 8th three that he has made in the playoffs.
He was a 29% three-point shooter during the regular season.
That's right. But, you know, it's not his game, Dick. His game is slashing off the dribble and then posting up. We have an interesting chess match going on here now, mainly because of a Stackhouse and then John Barry when the bench comes in. Can they stop Eric Williams down inside, or a Paul Pierce on a switch?
Atkins pulling up, and the rebound by Eric Williams. So the Pistons shut out in the first 2 minutes of this game. Walker going to the hoop and hitting over Robinson. Antoine Walker gives the Celtics an 8-0 lead.
Now, Antoine got up 22 shots in game one. He only made 7, so he did not shoot a high percentage. The key factor is he got the shots up, so he's going to get his shots. Main thing for him, just relax, hit a good percentage.
Here is Stackhouse getting in front of Pierce, and a foul is called as Anderson and Pierce, and it looked like Pierce got him on the back of the neck. So Pierce, who picked up 2 fouls and had to leave the game with 7 minutes to go in the first half on Sunday, which limited his time, picks up his first tonight.
Whoever picks up Stackhouse, you always are looking to go back defensively, because he wants to get to the rim off the dribble. The thing you do not want to do is putting on the line. He's shooting it over 90% in the playoffs.
And that is good for 10th place in the playoffs, and he has gotten to the line a good deal here in both series. So Boston Sharp starting out 3 of 4 from the field, including a pair of threes. Kenny Anderson and the follow by Tony Battie, and the Celtics up by 8.
Now, this is a major concern for Rick Carlisle. Kenny Anderson off the dribble. He had 17 points in game one, and you saw how easily he got into the paint and finished off that shot. You said, well, he missed the shot. The main thing is he got to the rim.
And Michael Curry picks up where he left off when he scored 15 points on 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. And it's a 10-5 Celtic lead.
Well, Michael is a team leader out there. He's out there for defense. So any bonus that you get in points is a major plus.
And Battie missing from the perimeter, but the offensive rebound by Pierce. And Eric Williams feeding Pierce. And Tony Battie, 12-5 to score. Good feed from Eric Williams, and Rick Carlisle calls the timeout.
Yeah, good timeout right now. He's got to regroup. Right now, the Celtics are beating his team off the dribble, forcing the defense to break down.
Well, that was easy. It's called the latch system. We're the first to have it. Have a good trip.
What would it be like if Avis didn't try harder?
Get it in yet, Captain? Hope so. Great. I got these other customers that can't figure this thing out. Could you give them a hand? Me in car seats. You know.
If we didn't try harder, we wouldn't be Avis. The Latch System, the new federal standard on child safety. Find out more at avis.com.
At Kia's all-model sales event, you can get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% financing on a new car. Like the affordable Rio, redesigned Spectra, and the luxurious Optima. What's even more attractive, they're backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
They're here for the all-model sales event? Mm-hmm. Did you tell them all-model means all car models? Good man.
So hurry down to Kia's all-model sales event and get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% financing.
Watch Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker in Money Talks Sunday night at 8 on TNT.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Circuit City. Circuit City, we're with you. By the AT&T Ultimate Fan Zone on NBA.com. You can get NBA gear just by talking on the phone. By IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by American Express Financial Advisors. Make life rewarding.
We'd like to give you a major concern of the Detroit defense. Right here, Kenny Anderson is running a reverse dribble. As he comes right down in this area, he's ahead of Atkins. That forces Wallace to come over and help. His man then goes to the front of the rim for the score, Battie. Now keep an eye on it now. See, Kenny Anderson was in the paint all night. Now he shoots and he misses, but Battie is on the offensive glass. That's good. Do not assume that the basket is made, and Battie already has more points than he had in game one.
And he was one of the people you pointed out that didn't come up with any offensive performance, but already with 4 points. And the Celtics unquestionably start out a different team than they did in game 1. So following the timeout by Rick Carlisle, here is Chucky Atkins driving, rejected by Pierce on the block.
That's another major part of his game.
Kenny Anderson directing traffic and shoving on the weak side, and a foul is called, and that will be against Atkins, his first.
Now as Atkins goes out, look to the right of your screen. Here's Paul Pierce. He definitely gets it on the way up. Now on the other side, you can see defensively, anytime that Pierce posts up, Curry is trying to front him.
Celtics have scored on their last 5 possessions in this game, and Williams goes up and he draws the foul. So Williams gets Stackhouse in the air, and the foul with the Celtics leading by 7. So Stackhouse with his first foul. Tomorrow on TNT, it'll be game 3 between the New Jersey Nets and the Charlotte Hornets as the venue moves to Charlotte with the Nets leading 2-0. Followed by game 3 of the exciting Mavericks-Kings series in Dallas. And then Friday on TNT, game 3 of this series with the Pistons and Celtics beginning at 7:30, followed by the Lakers and Spurs from the Alamo Dome. And that series surprisingly tied at 1-1, and the Spurs probably feel they should be up 2-0. In any event, 13-5, Boston in front with under 8 minutes to go first quarter. And Pierce is blanketing Michael Curry right now. 9 on the shot clock. Clear out for Curry. Anderson shadowing Atkins. Weak shot put up, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Wallace.
Now, you can see right there, that was a great defensive stand by the Boston Celtics. Quick feet, great rotations, everybody on the same page, getting out on the three-point shooters and forcing them to put the ball down on the floor.
Again, this is a different Boston team, and Pierce, definitely aggressive, forces Michael Curry into the foul, and it'll be Curry's first.
In the early going, Boston's game plan being executed perfectly. Take the Detroit guys off the dribble. Also, post up, take advantage of their guards, their smaller guards.
Pierce knifing his way in. And the Celtics opening up a 15-5 lead, and Pierce has scored his first points of the game, but he's done a lot more for his team. Atkins for 3, and the loose ball, it'll be against the Pistons, who start out 1 for 7 from the field, trailing by 10 points, and Wallace committing the foul.
Now Detroit's struggling, there's no doubt about that. They're also forcing up some shots, and they're not getting really good looks out of the half-court offense.
5 minutes have gone by in the first quarter of game 2. Pistons winning the opener, and Pierce stepping back. Rebound by Stackhouse. Celtics have scored on 7 possessions in a row. Stackhouse, and they're going to need him tonight. He had 26 points on 50% shooting in game 1.
Well, you love to see it. Anytime that you're in transition, he was even trailing the entire play because he can take his man off the dribble, get in the paint.
And on the pick and roll, Anderson was looking for Tony Battie. Here's Walker, open for 3. And Walker, hitting his second three-pointer, has 8 of the Celtics' 18.
Now, during the season, Walker attempted 8 a game. During the playoffs, he's attempting 8 a game. That is part of his makeup. And he's so difficult to guard off the dribble as well as in the post.
Good pass from Robinson out to Atkins, and now Stackhouse coming up and hitting the 3. So Stackhouse has 7 of the Pistons' 10 points, but they trail by 8.
Yeah, he has it going right now. He has a lot of confidence. He's very streaky from the outside.
Kenny Anderson driving to the basket as he did in game 1 to get most of his points, is fouled by Chucky Atkins. That'll be the second personal foul on Atkins, and Rick Carlisle will go to the bench for Damon Jones right now.
When you watch the Celtics play, you know that Anderson can take his man off of pick and rolls from the wings. But they also isolate him like they have already done twice in this quarter, and he's quick off the dribble.
Anderson hitting his first free throw. The Celtics bringing in Rodney Rogers, who scored 8 points. but hit 2 threes. Rogers coming in the game, replacing Tony Battie, who contributed 4 to the Celtic early call.
Now, this changes the matchups when you look at Detroit. Ben Wallace must guard Rodney Rogers. Rodney Rogers is not a low post guy. Rodney Rogers is a perimeter 3-point attempt guy. He likes the 17 to 22-foot game. Well, that takes Ben Wallace with the shot blocking and rebound away from the glass in the lane.
And Wallace had 5 blocks in game 1. Here is Stackhouse shooting over Pierce. In and out. Wallace tries to bat it out, but it goes into the hands of Pierce. Pistons back defensively, but you never know it by the way Pierce just slides in for his second basket.
If I'm on the Detroit staff, I'm upset right now. I just cannot believe my guys, because they are breaking us down so easy by keeping their dribble to the third bounce. The third bounce is getting them the layup.
I mean, there were 3 defenders back there, and Pierce went through them. Wallace got a hand on it. 5 on the shot clock. And here is Jones from 3. The offensive rebound by Wallace with a new clock for Detroit.
Now, that was their first offensive rebound this quarter.
Stackhouse with the basket and the foul. So Jerry Stackhouse taking the responsibility with his team trailing. He has 9 and will go to the line.
Well, you love it when the guy, the main scorer, is on fire, and especially early when your team gets down big. Now, he is being fearless right now because he's taking you into the paint. He's making it happen. He's getting the field goal, or he's getting to the line.
Eric Williams committed that foul on Jerry Stackhouse, who has scored 10 of his team's 13 points. Rodney Rogers, that's what he does best, but he comes up short on the 3, and Stackhouse bringing it up. It is a 9-point lead for the Celtics, who have led all the way in this first quarter. Here is Clifford Robinson with a drive, and it's his first points of the game after the big 30 on Sunday.
I like what we're seeing here tonight. Guys are not settling for the long shot. What they're doing is they're catching, giving a ball fake, and getting into the paint with the dribble.
And here is Williams, who slips and loses the ball out of bounds as the Pistons are making their first run of the game.
Yeah, I like that strategy, Coach. Go right at Stackhouse, force Stackhouse to work hard defensively, and who knows, you might get him with a couple of quick fouls here.
Damon Jones to Stackhouse, missing the 3 from the corner, and the Celtics try to steady and weather this rise, and Rodney Rogers misses the layup attempt.
Yeah, Ben Wallace got a piece of that. That was good defense by Ben Wallace. Whoa, Ben Wallace just said something to Bernie Fryer. Bernie Fryer almost blew the whistle. He put it in his mouth, and then he stepped back from the play.
And very lucky that Wallace did not get hit with a technical foul. 2 and you're gone, and can't afford that with the top rebounder in the league and the leading shot blocker as well. Timeout, 3:48 remaining in the first quarter. It's been a furious pace with the Celtics leading.
Get me undercover, brother.
Log on to NBA.com to enter the Go Undercover NBA sweepstakes and win a trip for 2 to the 2003 NBA All-Star Game in Atlanta. Watch the playoffs on TBS and TNT and see Universal's Undercover Brother in theaters May 31st.
At Kia's all-model sales event, you can get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% financing on a new car. Like the luxurious Optima. And the 5-star safety-rated Sedona minivan. What's even more attractive, they're backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
They're here for the all-model sales event? Mm-hmm. Did you tell them all model means all car models? Good man.
So hurry down to Kia's all-model sales event and get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% financing.
America is still strong, and we salute the backbone of our economy, the independent small business owner. Now you can gain independence, make big money, and have the time to enjoy it. Call Teleking Communications Corporation, 1-800-207-7677, and discover an incredible offer to run your own wholesale distribution business. This high-profit opportunity is the American dream. Be your own boss, work part-time or full-time, and earn big money with no direct selling on your part. Get all the facts now on how you can take advantage of this turnkey operation. Availability in your area may be limited, so call today. Teleking will help you increase your income and give you the freedom to enjoy the things that make America great. Operators are standing by to help you. The call is free, and there's no obligation. Take charge of your life, earn big money, and have the time to enjoy it all. Teleking. For your free brochure and video, call 1-800-207-7677 now.
Celtics leading by 7 in the first quarter. Right now, let's take a look at Money Talks on TNT.
Drama is one reporter, one fugitive, and 15 million in diamonds. Don't miss Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker in Money Talks, Sunday night at 8 on TNT.
Rick Carlisle getting Coach of the Year honors before the game, and he made special note that Bill Fitch, who first hired him at New Jersey, waived him from the team and then hired him seconds later to be an assistant coach. Fitch, of course, was a Celtic coach and won an NBA title, and the basket by Walker gives him 10 for the game.
I like what Rick said, that not only when Bill Fitch then left New Jersey, Chuck Daly came in, Chuck continued his career. He was 11 years as an assistant. We know that he was out in Portland and then in Indiana with Larry Bird. He's been with some special people. He has his own coaching style. He's done a miraculous job with this team because you always have to step back and realize they have 3 starters that were not drafted. And then 3 new guys who came to the ball club along with himself.
They went from 32 wins to 50 wins in 1 year. And, of course, also played for the Boston Celtics. Stackhouse losing the ball on the turnover. The Celtics leading by 9. Walker committed that last foul, and that will drop for Kenny Anderson. So all 5 starters in the game for the Celtics have scored.
This looks like Kenny Anderson of old. When he first came into the league, he could handle the ball, dish. He could score in the paint against anyone. He's like renewed this year with a better offseason program, came to camp, and right now the benefits of it all are paying off at playoff time.
Detroit getting several chances because of Wallace and Robinson and big offensive board. And that is Stackhouse with his second 3 of the game, 13. And it's 26-18 Boston as we have under 2.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Here is Pierce going in, and that goes. So Walker and Pierce combined have shot 7 of 8 from the field.
Well, Pierce was just outstanding on that move. Not only does he blow into the middle off the dribble, he then does a reverse and splits 2 defenders and finishes.
Here's Wallace from Stackhouse. 3 underneath, and it's an 8-point game again.
That must happen here. Now, Ben Wallace has got to create the passing lane. They're using his man to trap all of the dribblers. So he has got to come alive, get in front of that basket, make himself big, and punish the defense for rotating.
Huge shooting edge by the Celtics. Pierce with the fall away, and Wallace the rebound. If Detroit is only down by 8, despite shooting in the 30s. Stackhouse steps back, and the 2-point attempt that time misses. Anderson pushes up. Anderson looking inside, fires away, and the ball tipped away into the hands of the Damon Jones now for Detroit. Stackhouse out on the perimeter, guarded by Walter McCarty, who has come in the game to guard Stackhouse to try to slow him down. Jones on the baseline. Wallace out of bounds. And now Bernie Fryer has changed the call. He said it was last touch by Boston. He got it right.
Yes, he did. And it was a good call. You can see tonight the difference between today, Wednesday, and Sunday for the Celtics. On ball reversal by Detroit, they are getting out there on that weak side. They're matching it with their rotations. They're getting out, and then they are forcing Detroit, instead of shooting that wide-open 3, to put the ball down on the floor again.
Tony Delk into the game for the first time, as well as Eric Williams. And the deflection, it was Paul Pierce who got a hand on that one. That's his second block of this first quarter.
Yeah, Paul Pierce is giving us a little... Oh, he just traveled. He walked twice.
Walker. Fall away. That's it. And Damon Jones with 40 seconds approaching in this first quarter. Pierce is now guarding Stackhouse again. Corliss Williamson in the game. No basket. And they're going to call the offensive foul. The charge on Williamson.
Well, Corliss Williamson comes in. As soon as he gets his hands, you know he's going to the hole. Now, here it is here. See, right there, the lead elbow. See, the fans are all upset with the replay up on the main screen, but that elbow went right in and cleared out the defender. The referee's right on top of that play.
And John Barry into the game. The Pistons bench not as much of a factor as usual because of the matchup problems that Rick Carlisle has against Boston. Rogers going back to Eric Williams, and he goes around Barry. Misses the shot, the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Boston.
Eric Williams has got to realize, look, you have such a height advantage on John Barry and upper body strength. Just take the extra dribble and take your time, because you can out-muscle Barry once you get him down into the painted area.
The shot clock is off in this first quarter. Jones, guarded by Delk, picked up by Walker, and Jones' shot, an air ball, and time running out, and that will not count it even if it goes by Delk. So a first quarter in which the Boston Celtics come out strong. They led throughout the quarter, paced by Antoine Walker, who has 10 points on 4 for 5 shooting, including 2 from beyond the arc. So after one, here at the Palace, the Celtics lead the Pistons 28-20.
TNT's hit original drama returns with a special 2-hour season premiere.
Police, hold it! All units, shots fired!
She's got battle skills that are supernatural. This June, New York's toughest cop is back. See the 2-hour season premiere, Witchblade, Sunday, June 16th at 8, only on TNT.
I taught him how to do that reverse slam dunk.
I taught him the fundamentals.
Boxing out.
Boxing out.
Dipsy doing.
Rebound.
Twist people up.
Bounce pass.
That's me.
I taught him.
I showed him that.
That's me.
Not you, me. That was me.
Who you gonna listen to? How about yourself? Obey your thirst. Sprite.
I thought you told him to be a dentist. Man, don't move your head.
Come on!
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tinactin still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's gonna do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
The rules have changed. Now there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. A new anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a new strip releases even more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. It's turning the shaving world upside down. The revolutionary new Mach 3 Turbo. From Gillette, the best a man can get.
You're about to be treated like no man before. New Gillette Series Shave Gel with ingredients like tea tree oil to invigorate. You get a close shave and healthy-looking skin. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Rated PG-13. Now playing everywhere.
Boston leading Detroit by 8 as we start the second quarter. Time now for tonight's edition of Armor All White's Spectacular Finish.
103-102 Boston. Charlotte out of timeout. Here's Morning, the shot. Good! Game over!
And that signaled the start of some empty years for the Boston Celtics. It was Kevin McHale's last game. Larry Bird had retired the year before. But now the Celtics back and the Pistons back in the playoffs. As you look at the shooting, Celtics at 52%. Hitting 3 of 4 from threes, and the Pistons at 33% as we start the second quarter. Clifford Robinson off the mark with a 3. Rogers the rebound.
Now with Detroit, Stackhouse is doing a nice job, but the other 4 starters have got to step up here right now. They're struggling, and they're not getting what you would call great looks.
Here is Eric Williams, defended by Corliss Williamson down low. And the crossover move by Eric Williams, who has 6.
Yeah, that you know is going to happen. Carlisle is coming with Williamson at that small forward position to match up with Eric Williams. Eric Williams has got to take it to him.
John Barry, Damon Jones, Williamson along with Wallace and Robinson. And Williamson from the corner missing, and a 10-point Boston lead. They have the ball. Rodney Rogers. Tony Delk, who has replaced Eric Strickland in the rotation for the Celtics.
Yeah, so he's doing a nice job. He was struggling all year. First in Phoenix, then also with the Boston Celtics when he came to the team, shooting in the high 30s for the first time in his career. But he's coming out of the slump right now, and in game 1, he came off the bench. He was 3 for 3 from the field. So they like him. They like his opportunities, especially the perimeter jet.
And they like what Pierce is doing. 8 points, so 18 between the two. Walker and Pierce, the great 1-2 punch for the Green.
Well, I love what Pierce has given us tonight. He is not setting. He's going right at the defender.
So a 12-point lead, largest of the game for the Celtics. And Williamson having trouble finding the mark.
Tonight, Dick, the Celtics traps on the dribblers. Very quick and hard traps.
Damon Jones guarding Pierce. And now they're going to call Pierce with the foul, and that'll be his second personal foul. So a scenario familiar to game number 1 on Sunday when he picked up 2 in the second quarter and had to come out.
Well, if it's going to be an offensive foul on one end, it has to be an offensive foul at the other. And the refs are not debating this at all. There was a quick move. Pierce tried to overpower Damon Jones, and he caught him with that lead shoulder.
So Eric Strickland, who did not play, coach's decision in game 1, has come in the game replacing Pierce. Barry gets by Strickland, and a good box out by Rogers for the rebound.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the Celtics tonight on their defensive board. Doing a terrific job holding holding Detroit to 1 shot.
1 shot is all the Celtics get on that possession, with Strickland missing from the perimeter. Damon Jones seeing a lot of action here in this first half. Former Celtic, briefly. And Corliss Williamson with a great move. Fake Eric Williams out of his shoes. Gets his first bucket.
Great move. That's just a low post guy with great quickness. He gave him the fake going into the lane. Drop step power move. Beautiful.
Tony Delk controlling, looking for Walker or Williams inside. 5 on the shot clock, and they go down. And hitting the floor was Barry, and the Celtics get a basket. It's Rogers, who actually had knocked Barry down with an elbow.
Yeah, he did. He hit him right in the chest. Now, I think that there was a little bit of a flop there also with Barry. But that's because I was not receiving the blow. Now, keep an eye on this to the left of your screen. You see, right, once Rogers gets, there it is right there. A little bit of a jump back, but he definitely cleared him out.
Didn't hurt you any.
You know the players. You know the lines.
Just a bit outside.
No wonder it's a new classic. See the Saturday night new classic Major League. Saturday night at 8.
Maybe we gotta do one of those waves.
On TNT.
Come on, baby, come on, baby.
What would happen if an SUV were raised by a family of sports cars?
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The 200 horsepower Mazda Tribute. The SUV with the soul of a sports car.
This summer, in the fight against evil.
Get me undercover, brother.
I knew you wanted me. They all do.
He'll risk everything.
It ain't no thing.
And go where no spy has gone before.
Would you like to be my friend?
Woo! What are you doing with that girl? Sometimes you have to do things you wouldn't normally do. No matter how difficult, how dangerous, how good it might have felt. Ow!
Undercover Brother, rated PG-13, at theaters May 31st.
It happens in the blink of an eye.
that defining moment in every game. When that moment comes, will you have ice in your veins?
It's here, it's clear. New Gatorade Ice.
Back inside the Palace, a very special night for Detroit. Coach Daly in the house, former Piston coach. Now, your friendship with Rick Carlisle goes way back to when he was an assistant for you at the Nets. You're in town to present the Coach of the Year award trophy to him. Did you know way back then that he would make such a mark on the NBA?
Yeah, I told him tonight what took so long. He had all the qualities. He's got a great work ethic, passion for the game, inquisitiveness, and he loves working at it. So there was no question. He understands the game. He's going to be a great learner and a great coach.
Certainly a legend here in the Palace. 2 NBA championships.
Legend in my own mind.
And ours too. But do your coaching juices start to flow when you're back in this building?
Yeah, I think a lot about it. You know, the trepidation of driving out here tonight. I said, boy, I'm glad I don't have to go through that anymore because I played a lot of games in here. Great ones.
We'll let you relax and actually just enjoy this one. Dick, back to you.
I wish Chuck would dress better. That would be the only critique I have. You know, I like to see
the best guy in the building.
Rodney Rogers driving in for the layup, and the Celtics opening up their biggest lead of 14. And of course, Chuck never won the Coach of the Year award, oddly enough.
Interesting, but he did win a few rings and a gold medal. All right, so I think he'll trade those off. If you notice, if you're really paying close attention, the shot attempts for Detroit are very difficult. At the other end, you have to be impressed with the Celtic transition game, which is getting them layups. When they go to the half-court game, they're also getting layups off the dribble. Now, that is a major breakdown for Detroit that prides itself so much in their quality defense.
Shouldering the burden has been Jerry Stackhouse. Strickland committing the foul. Stackhouse looking now for his 15th point of the game. Remember, the Pistons won all their home games in the last series, as did the Celtics. So neither one of these teams has won on the road yet. And of course, Detroit will be facing Boston on the road the next 2 after this one. Walker getting into Rodney Rogers, who's played extremely well since coming in. Rogers getting his own rebound and a block down, and it was Robinson. Might have hurt his wrist. We'll have to see. Barry missing, but it looked like Robinson had hurt his right wrist.
Yeah, they should foul somebody.
Delk firing and missing the 3. Robinson, or Williamson getting the rebound.
Come on, they got to do something about Stackhouse. I mean, about Cliff Robinson.
And here comes the 22nd timeout called by the Pistons, and Mike Abdenauer, their longtime trainer, out to meet with Cliff Robinson. And this could be a very critical sequence right here.
You know, right there, as the shot goes up, we see right here over the top. Oh, as he falls to the floor. Cliff Robinson goes to the floor, and that elbow hits the floor first. Keep an eye now to the left of your screen. Right there, you can see his head go down with the white headband. Now Barry takes off going the other way. Now here he comes in. He goes for the block. All right, and as he falls down, that right elbow hits the floor first.
So there is Clifford Robinson, who has been in the league 13 years in the playoffs. Those were his impressive Game 1 numbers.
Well, I tell you, he's the key matchup on Antoine Walker. He gave Detroit 46 minutes on Sunday.
Stackhouse double team, will fire over Strickland, who comes out with the ball, and he falls down, and Corliss Williamson ties him up, and we will have a jump ball.
Now, Detroit has a serious injury to Rebrasha. Rebrasha, their 7-foot backup center, has a broken bone in his right hand. They just put 2 screws in there on Monday. He's going to be out a minimum of 3 weeks, could be 4 or 5. It happened when they were practicing on Sunday. Now, when you take a key guy out of your 4-man rotation off the bench, This group in Detroit averaged 31 to 34 points in all 5 playoff games with Toronto. This forces Williamson, a small forward now, to move to the power forward position. Well, that's a negative. That's why Cliff Robinson's minutes are so important in this series with no Rebrashi.
Yeah, you miss a 7-footer. That's right. When you lose a guy like Robinson. Walker with the runner, and the rebound taken down by Ben Wallace. Approaching 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown and Heather Cox. Game 2, best of 7. Barry with a rainbow jumper from the corner. And the Celtics in control of this first half, up by 13. Anderson from the perimeter, and it's tapped out. Here is Stackhouse with Williams back. And now they'll set it up.
Time after time after time. The transition defense by the Celtics, outstanding. The half-court defense, really good. They are not giving you any good looks. They're challenging every shot. They're tough off the dribble, and they're tough on the tracks. Very impressive.
Second foul on Walker as we check in with Heather.
Well, good news for Detroit fans. Clifford Robinson just banged that elbow pretty hard on the floor, but he is going to go back in. Good news because he had a game-high 30 points in Game 1. Dick?
Thank you, Heather. The ball knocked out of bounds, and it is still going Detroit's way, although they are shooting only 27% in this game, trailing by 13.
Right now, with 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, Ben Wallace is a non-factor in this first half. No blocks, very few rebounds, and he cannot get to the offensive board where he led the league with 5 a game.
Damon Jones hitting the 3. So Damon Jones, who played 13 games with the Celtics in the 98-99 campaign, cuts the lead to 10, nearly halfway through this first quarter.
Nice.
Williamson on the steal. Jones driving against Anderson, who commits the foul in the act of shooting.
Yeah, that's a good call by Bernie Fryer, and a smart move by Damon Jones. He took the contact, and then he got the shot on its way. Now, keep an eye right here. See, he takes the contact right there, and he puts it up. Now, what I like about this group is that this group is forcing the action. Now, you have to remember that Damon Jones and Barry are high percentage three-point shooters. So in transition, you have to pay attention to these two guys.
Damon Jones making good on the first free throw. He has already played more minutes in this game than he did in Game 1, and his play is backing that up. He makes the free throws, and the Pistons get it to single digits. 8-point lead for Boston. Nearly 6 to go in the first half.
Yeah, the defense for Detroit. Now, when you're ranked 5th in almost every category, see, that can't happen. See, you can't flop. You can't flop in the NBA playoffs because you're never going to get a call.
Eric Williams now with 8 points. Celtics with terrific balance in their scoring in the first half, in front by 10.
The layup stick, layup after layup after layup. Nothing difficult, all high percentage shots.
Here is Williamson, rebound Petit. Back in the game. Walker with 10, Williams and Pierce each with 8. Great balance, and the Celtics destroying the Pistons in the paint.
Well, they're wearing them out on the post there, on this left post. Whether it's Williams, whether it's Pierce, they're going down in there.
Traveling called against Williams.
Yeah, you'll take that. Mainly because you're dominating, your guys are down in there, they're making things happen. The Detroit double team is late, and they're getting one-on-one coverage, which is definitely in their favor. Layups.
Where is it written that only a sports car can behave like a sports car? Not here.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom.
The powerful 2-liter Mazda Protege. Why should sports cars have all the fun?
Alert! You have reached the end of the internet. You have seen everything there is to see. Please go back. Now.
Experience the joy of DirecTV DSL. Call now and pay only $29.99 per month for your first 3 months. Call 1-877-4DSL-JOY now.
I thought you were surfing the internet.
Yeah,
I finished it.
EA Sports Supercross Finals. Now playing in Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View and Direct TV. Jeremy McGrath, Travis Pastrana, David Villeman, Ricky Carmichael, and the most competitive riders are back in Vegas for the championships. EA Sports Supercross Finals. Now playing in Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View and Direct TV.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by the Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home. And by Sunkist. Experience the charge.
Back here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and they say Ben for Ben Wallace. Some say Ben and Jerry. And as you look at Jim O'Brien, whose father-in-law, Jack Ramsey, picks the Celtics to win for the second straight series, and he doesn't think it's a joke, or a jinx. But Jim O'Brien, very steady in his first full season as head coach, taking over for Rick Pitino last year, 24 and 24 to finish the year.
He's done an outstanding job. He has the confidence of the players. They have a different style of play. They are a very good top of the circle to the goal defensive team. By bringing in Dick Harder, they changed their defensive principles this year, and it has been rewarded by them jumping up into the top 5 in every defensive statistic.
Stackhouse has been the big gun with 14 points, and the foul with 5:05 to go. Of note, the Detroit Pistons bench, which has been such a huge asset for them all year, shooting only 2 of 11 from the field, but Rick Carlisle said the bench wouldn't be as much of a factor because of the matchup problems with the Celtics in this series. Tomorrow on TNT, it'll be the Nets and the Hornets, as the Nets leading 2-0. We don't have many 2-0 series, do we? Kings Mavericks tied 1-1 as the series shifts to Dallas. That's tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Friday, the Pistons and Celtics in Boston, and the Lakers and Spurs from San Antonio. That series tied 1-1. It's an 8-point lead for the Celtics. Pierce is open and hits. Pierce now with 10.
In game 1, the Celtics stayed with a lot of pick and rolls from the wings. Detroit switched and stayed and bothered them, forcing a lot of three-point attempts. Tonight, you can see there's a different mindset. Very few pick and rolls. Everything off the dribble and post up and down screens.
Petit getting the rebound. 10-point Boston lead. Celtics trying to win their first road playoff game. And Rogers is bumped by Cliff Robinson. So Robinson back in the game, as Heather reported. He came down hard on the elbow and was all right. So here he is back in the game and committing his first personal.
Yeah, a nice ball fake that time by Rodney Rogers. Cliff Robinson made the commitment. Rodney off the dribble, wanted that body contact.
Kenny Anderson dishes off. Eric Williams fouled. So Corliss Williamson fouling Williams, who was inside the arc. Otherwise, it would have been 3 at the line.
Once again, Kenny Anderson gets down into the painted area, and when the defense tries to recover, he gives on the kick out. Then you get a nice ball fake. Keep an eye right here now. Now watch what happens. They come everybody inside. Now you get your ball fake. Get him up in the air.
And that was Williamson's second personal foul.
Kenny Anderson has had an excellent first half. Very few times has he picked up his dribble. He's getting to where he wants to go. He's getting them into every single call that Jimmy O'Brien makes. O'Brien is orchestrating an excellent first half. The execution has been good.
And he had a terrific game 1 as well in defeat. Meanwhile, the turnover and the Celtics getting it back. What has hurt Detroit in the first series was their penchant for turning the ball over. And that cost them a couple of games. Kenny Anderson, who has really matured, and as you mentioned, the summer conditioning, a big factor.
Good. So you like
his improvement. Rogers over Stackhouse, who does the defensive job, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Celtics.
Now you had a big matchup difference there. Rodney Rogers down inside with Stackhouse on him. Throws a fadeaway jump shot. Throwing a fadeaway jump shot, you gave Stackhouse a chance to get up and block your shot, and that's exactly what he did. Rather than what Williams and Pierce are doing, they're giving you the fakes, making you move, and then they're taking you strong to the rim.
Stackhouse driving against Pierce, finding Jones, missing the three. Wallace tries to keep it alive and cannot. So a 12-point lead, under 3.5 to play in the half. Here's Pierce pulling up short on the three. And Pierce getting the ball back from Stackhouse. So the Pistons very careless with the ball in the last several minutes.
Well, the Celtics are known for the fact that they steal the ball a ton. They're right out there and they make it happen. Nice fake.
And Pierce, no basket, and the foul on Pierce before the shot. And there is a Walker who's on the bench as the cheerleader with 2 fouls, but 10 points early on.
The Celtics are showing us how well they play the passing lane. They lead all teams in the playoffs for steals. And in this first half, we're seeing it. They are out there. They're getting good deflections. They're even challenging the first pass to initiate the offense out on the wings.
Walker, Pierce, and Eric Williams all with 10 points in this first half. And there is Pierce, and he goes in missing the basket, and it will drop. So Stackhouse tried to gamble on the pass to Pierce, and he has 12 points.
So you can't gamble on him. I mean, the guy is so tough, plus he steps to meet the pass. And when he steps to meet the pass and you gamble, he catches you, and now he's inside.
Again, a 14-point Boston lead. Corliss Williamson tries to knife his way in, and the Celtics coming back down. They are definitely in control of this first half. Kenny Anderson is fouled in the lane and will shoot 2. Atkins has come in the game. And Boston can do nothing wrong. And for Atkins, his 3rd personal after coming right back in. 2:23 remaining in the first half. The Celtics by 14.
Hey, guys. I got someone here who wants to meet you.
A dog!
A dog?
A dog.
But you told them we couldn't get a dog until we got the house. Did you hear something from our lender?
We got the house.
Call the Fannie Mae Foundation for a free guide to help put you on the path to home ownership and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
Hey, you want to see how powerful Sunkist really is? Watch this. Oh, girls. This might take a while. Sunkist, experience the charge.
On May 31st, from Tom Clancy.
3 Russian nuclear scientists are missing.
There are 27,000 nuclear weapons.
A neo-fascist bought an A-bomb on the black market.
One
The bomb is in play!
is missing.
They think it might be the Russians.
It wasn't the Russians!
Ben Affleck, Morgan Freeman.
You gotta get me through to the president.
Put it in your report.
If you shut me out, 25 million will be dead.
Cut him off. The Sum of All Fears, directed by Phil Robinson. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 31st.
Experience NBA.com on America Online. See the best action shots and off-the-court photos every night at America Online. Keyword NBA.com. This weekend, get into the drama on TNT. Saturday night at 8, watch Major League. And Sunday night at 8, don't miss Money Talks. It all starts this Saturday night at 8, only on TNT.
2:23 to go in the first half. Boston by 14, getting most of those points inside, Hubie.
Yeah, they're dominating the painted area, Dick, whether it's off the dribble or posting up. Here you have Eric Williams. Great power move. Take the man down inside. He out-muscles Williamson here. Then you have Pierce, who's just having a great night. He's blowing by whoever they match up on. The double teams are late, and then the individual moves are exciting.
Kenny Anderson on the line, a 20-point edge for the Celtics in the paint. The Pistons have only had 3 layups of their own, and they have settled for the perimeter shot.
Well, at the Detroit end, if Corliss Williamson cannot post up, you are in a lot of trouble because you lost another post-up guy in Rabasha with the broken hand. So now you are relying to get everything off the dribble. Well, the Celtics are ready to meet your effort tonight. They have fresh legs. They're ready to go, and you are not beating them. They're trapping, and they're forcing bad shots and to pass the ball out.
Biggest lead for the Celtics, and right now let's check in again with Heather Cox.
Well, Dick and Hubie, when we sat down with Coach Carlisle before the game, he said, you know, I'm worried about the matchups. How do we contain Pearson Walker? But he didn't talk about the defense inside. That's what he talked about during the last timeout. He said these guys are shooting 47%. We've got to have better defense in the paint. Back to you, Dick.
Kenny Anderson controlling as we wind down to nearly 2 minutes remaining in this first half, and right now Pearson Walker on the bench. That's the luxury that Jim O'Brien can do now with the Celtics up by 15 points. Rodney Rogers with the follow and the loose ball foul with 2:08 to go, and the Pistons in the penalty, and Corliss Williamson picking up his 3rd foul.
Now that is a big foul. You got Williamson with 3, and remember, he's a key guy for you, because now you're trying to play him with the first unit. You play him as a small forward. With the second unit, he has to move over and play power forward for you. Now they're going to come with Michael Curry. Now when you come with Michael Curry, you are very small out there right now. You have Cliff Robinson, and then you're going to have Wallace and then Curry up front.
Rodney Rogers on the line, misses the first. Coming up on the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, and special guest Dr. J, Julius Erving, in our Atlanta studio. Look at the first half of the game and talk old school hoops with Dr. J. Rogers, who came over with Tony Delk in the trading deadline deal with Phoenix, makes 1 out of 2. Celtics by 16, 2 minutes to go in the half. Pistons haven't scored in over 3 minutes now. 9 on the shot clock, under 2 minutes remaining. And here is Jones, double team. Well, the Celtics are very quick defensively.
Yes, they are.
Jones hits the 3.
Well, you say, well, they had to make a number of passes. Yes, they did. But the fact is that they had the spacing and the ball movement. It eventually gave them the shot. But how about stopping 3 dribbles into the painted area with trapping and forcing a kick out?
David Jones with his second 3. Anderson and the rebound by Wallace. 13-point lead for the Celtics. They have led all the way.
Yeah, they're going to have to get Ben Wallace going here on the offensive glass. He's got to come alive because they're shooting and missing. They're shooting between 25 and 30% for the half. In the second half, this guy's got to get some offensive boards.
Well, there's Wallace, but it rolls off the rim. And now the Celtics with under a minute to go. Michael Curry back in the lineup, and there's the shot clock and the game clock on the right.
The Celtics have been totally under control all through this half. No flying bad 3-point shots. They're working their half-court offense well. How about that?
Rodney Rogers with a terrific first half. He has 7 off the bench with 8 rebounds.
There is no reason to shoot a fadeaway jump shot in the post tonight if you're a Celtic. Because if you use any kind of dribble with a reverse power move, up step, up and under move, you're getting a layup.
Pistons will have a lot to talk over when this half is history. Wallace trying to get the tip, gets the ball away, goes up again, and finally is fouled. He's got to be a little frustrated because he has several golden opportunities for easy baskets.
Well, this is a young man. He is at a frustrating type of a half. His team is shooting and missing, and he cannot keep the ball alive. Now, in this exchange right here, he gets 2. Now, when he puts it back up here right now, the ball comes out on him, but he does not give up. He never assumes that the ball is going down. You cannot lead this league in offensive rebounding at 5 a game, and then in your 6 playoff games that you play, average 5 a game if you are not a working man. This guy works the entire time he's out there.
10 rebounds so far tonight, and he had 28 against the Celtics, and that was the NBA best this year. 28 boards against Boston, but Wallace coming up 0 for 2 from the line, and the Celtics playing for the last shot of the first half, up by 15 points. Kenny Anderson lays it up, and that has been the story of this first half.
Yeah, Kenny's had a great half, no doubt about it.
17-point lead, the biggest lead for the Celtics, and Jones is... Oh, wow! It'll count, it's a 3! So crowd here at the Palace has something to cheer about in what has been a total Boston domination of this first half.
Now, they needed this. This was a shot in the arm. Now, just watch Stamen right here, a high percentage shooter through the year, shot it over 37%. We told you he and Barry have that ability, but they have not had good looks in this first half.
Right now, let's send it over to Heather Cox.
Paul, a very impressive first half, a much different rhythm offensively than we saw in game one. What kind of adjustments did you make?
Well, I'm being more aggressive. I'm seeing the defense, and I'm taking the ball to the basket a lot stronger. I'm not settling for my jumpers, and that's all. You know, coach is putting me in a situation where they can't switch, and I can just be isolated with my man one-on-one.
Defensively, game one, the Pistons shot 51%. Not a great effort. Tonight, though, they're under about 30%. You guys have done a much better job. You satisfied?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with what I did. We did a great job. We challenged in a lot of their shots. We're not giving no wide-open looks.
All right, best of luck in that second half. Back to you, Dick and Hubie.
So the Pierce and Walker combination working so far in this first half. And right now, the Celtics leading 50-36 as we send it to Ernie Johnson and company in our Atlanta studio. Take it away.
It is time, Dick, for the AT&T
You tell
report.
Dick that company is people who come over now and then. Myself and Charles are here every night.
Kenny
We're not
Smith
company.
and
We're
Charles
not
Barkley. But we do have special company today.
That's exactly
we have
right.
extremely special company in the form of one Dr. J. Julius Erving, please, can we break out the archive video?
The Nets video. They didn't go to the Sixers. I love it, the Nets video, because I was in New York, a youngster I had the big afro, too.
And
I know Porter Jones was glad to be traded.
And how about that vintage?
See, this one I didn't like him, because I was still rooting for the Knicks, and then he was killing them.
And he's here in the Studio A with us. Dr. J. Julius Erving, great to have you with us. Could not be better. Thanks for being here tonight with Kenny and Chuck. And
Kenny, Charles. What's up, teammate?
Hey, you know what? It's good to see you, as always.
And I know we'll go down memory lane a little bit with you former teammates in the second segment, but first let's tackle the game at hand right now. And Boston's on top, 50-36. Why is that?
Well, you're looking at a very dominant performance by Boston. You know, they're executing well on offense. And defensively, it's one and done with Detroit. They've found a way to keep Ben Wallace from getting his hand on a lot of balls. He has some offensive rebounds, but nothing like he's been able to do in the prior series. And, you know, I think no offensive rebounds for Detroit, no victory for Detroit. That's a big part of their game.
Boston, as the guys pointed out at the site, going inside a lot. This is a team that loves the long ball, but they've taken it to the rim a lot in the first half. What are your thoughts, Jim?
The first series for Boston, you know, Walker and Pierce, they come to play, and they're going to get you the big numbers. And then those third guys was Eric Williams and Walter McCarty. They stepped up on different games. In this series, the third option is different. And these guys are starting to realize it's Kenny Anderson and also Rodney Rogers. Those are the two guys who have an advantage. Kenny Anderson is able to get to the basket on Chucky Atkins and Damon Jones every single time he wants to, and that's putting a lot of defensive pressure on them. And Rodney Rogers is leaking out. He's getting threes. He's running the floor, and they're having tough time finding him in transition. And Kenny just said, you know what, I'm going to put an exclamation point in the fact that I could get to the basket. I'm going to run the clock down. And this is just ISO. This used to be Paul Pierce out here on the isolation. They're isolating Kenny, and this is the best he's played probably since his rookie year. And I got to give kudos not to Kenny Anderson, but my brother Vincent, who worked him out for a month and a half. So I'm giving him the kudos. Kenny gets no kudos for that. Vincent called him up, said, get back in the gym this summer. First time in 5 years. This is
Why don't
first
you get
time
in the gym so you can rehash your
I'm done,
body?
man. I'm done. I'm like you. There's nothing left in the tank. Kenny have to give him a cut? Yeah, he should. No playoff share there?
Charles, what you thinking?
Number one, you know the thing I hate about the Celtics, all the threes they take. Threes look great when they go in, but you're only going to shoot 30%. I've been saying that all year. That's the one thing I hate about their team. They take the ball to the baskets, which those threes would be easier if they started out taking the ball to the basket. That's number one. They're taking the ball to the basket. Stop shooting threes all the time. They're doing it. Detroit cannot score as long as they, you know, Ben Wallace can't give them second and third opportunity. They box him off the board. But the main thing, he can't even block shots because he can't leave Antoine Walker. And that's what's really killing him. You know, he normally doesn't block his guy's shot. He comes from the weak side and block. He cannot leave Antoine Walker. I don't know how many blocks he has, but he don't have many because he cannot leave Walker.
You can look at it right now, and Ben Wallace has one block shot.
That ain't going to get it done because, you know, 1.5, that's 2.
Yep, and you know what? Only 6 3-point attempts by the Celtics. Excellent point. They're taking it inside.
Threes are only good if they go in.
Yep.
But you know, at the end of the year, you're going to shoot 35%. That's only 3 out of 10, Ernie.
Thank you very much, Professor Barkley. When we come back,
Well, actually, it's 3.5. But
some Q&A.
You don't get half, stupid.
Yeah,
with Dr. J. Hey, this is one of the things we'll be back.
The AT&T Halftime Report.
If you, in the beginning, you know, it was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And then that all changed, you know? I spent a little time in the city, and you realize that, you know, you fool some of the people some of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time. So, con game was over, and Charles had his coming out party. And
the thoughts of Dr. J on December 4th, 2001 on Charles Barkley. What more can
that was deep reflection.
Oh, it really was.
That was some deep reflection. It looked like you were choosing your words carefully.
So what was it like as this rookie showed up in Philadelphia?
But Charles was that way, and actually he's still that way every now and then. You know, where, you know, his upbringing in Alabama sometimes just takes over, and it is yes sir, no sir, and whatever, and all the time, you know, the wheels are turning.
Did you see that play right there? Run that back. That's what I was talking about, Maurice Cheeks.
Because he's on a different level.
Yeah.
You know.
How about
and you see him every day.
How about in terms of athletic ability and what he was able to do on the floor for a guy his size coming into the league?
We had a guy who was an equipment manager. His name was Jeff Millman. And Jeff said, in the beginning, when he first saw Charles, he said, I'm not too sure this guy can play ball because I'm a fat guy and he's a fat guy. And fat guys aren't supposed to be able to play ball. But lo and behold, Jeff was wrong.
Oh,
thank God.
Came in cat-like quick. You know, people started talking about this is the next Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld was never able to move like Charles Barkley, you know. And both of them are Hall of Famers, and it's nothing against Wes, but in Wes's wildest dreams, he could never grab the rebound, go coast to coast, turn, spin, find people, do the things that the Chuckster could do.
On the flip side, Chuck,
I'm not souping him up, but you know, he does deserve some props.
No, but you come into the league and you're looking at this guy.
Well, no, you know, it's the weirdest thing. The night I was real nervous. You go in, got to walk in, and you know, everybody. I mean, there's only a couple players in NBA history everybody wants to be like, and that was Doc, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. It's like if you're a basketball player in that day, it was like those four guys. The only thing, I remember calling all my friends the night before. I said, what do I call Dr. J? And I'm like, they're like, well, call him, I said, do I call him Julius, Mr. Irving, Dr. J? And it was like a thought-out process. I didn't know what to do. And he made it so easy. I was sitting there, like, nervous and shaking. He said, hey, what's up, young fella? And came over. I said, hey, Doc. And from that point on, and I tell you, all these young guys, the league is so different now when you go to a team now. You're playing with a bunch of young kids. I was so blessed and honored to play with Doc, Moses, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Bobby Jones. Man, they taught me a lot about the game, but also a lot about life. And I wish all these other guys nowadays could go in and have some vets.
You look at your situation now, Doc, and you see the role, your role in Orlando, and you see the NBA and where it's gone and where it. Did you ever foresee that the league would be where it is right now?
Actually, yes. Starting with my ABA experience, Joe Caldwell was very much involved with the ABA Players Association, and he said he could foresee the day when ball players were going to make $10 million a year. This is like in the 70s, so everybody thought he was crazy, and he eventually got blackballed, you know, from NBA and ABA because he stood by some principles that just weren't going to fly at the time. But the predictor was out there, and it boiled down to the players getting more of a fair share of the revenues that were being generated, with them being the main product. And now, you know, it might have gotten a little out of whack, leaning more towards players getting more than their fair share, because there are a lot of players in the league making $4 and $5 million who can't play. There's no question about that. But opportunity knocks, and what are they going to do? Not sign the contract?
Right, exactly.
They're going to sign the contract. So, so it was predictable that it would get to this point at some point in time. And then, of course, David Stern has done a masterful job in terms of making it a globally accepted sport.
Julius Irving, it is a pleasure to have you with us tonight. You'll be here for our post-game show. We'll have much more time to talk.
Royalties in the house.
You're exactly right. Back to put the finishing touch on the AT&T Halftime Report in just a second. One more look Oh.
Now let's go back to the other play where I got robbed out of 2 points.
Was that a goaltender or something?
Look at that.
He passed right over you.
Passed right over me. That's the way it was every time I ran the floor with him.
You don't want to do this, don't you?
You know, this is a play where you get a ball up soon so you can get the layup. Unless you're playing with Dr. G and they overthrow you. Nice pass, Andrew Toney.
You got it after they went through the net.
That's like a little trick. All guys, you get a ball up early so you can get it back.
Third quarter on the way.
A lot of times.
The AT&T Halftime Report has been brought to you by AT&T, proud sponsor of the NBA.
Work. Getting ready for the second half of Game 2 of the best-of-7 second round, and the Celtics leading the Pistons 50-36. And Hubie, this Boston Celtics team, focused from the start, came out 8-0. Paul Pierce was aggressive. The rest of the team doing the job. What a tremendous first half.
Well, you back it up. The shooting percentage of 48%. They're dominating the boards. Eric Williams and then Pierce and Antoine Walker. Beautiful. 12 for 19 from the floor. All three in double figures. At the other end, major problem. They're only shooting 27% from twos. That's a big problem. And then when you look at Atkins, Barry, and Corliss Williamson, 1 for 13. That has got to change, Nick.
And now when you look at the statistics overall, and you take a look at how much the Celtics have dominated, you know, 14 points isn't that much of a margin when you look at all of those numbers.
How about points in the paint? 30-6. That's that layup drill.
Wow. Well, here is tonight's Inside Tracks, Hubie, presented by Lamasu.
It's a direct hit. You got to go ahead and take it, buddy. We can't let Kenny get in there. All right? Hey, we got to take away the three. We got to take away the three. We got to get with it on defense now. We got to pick it up. We got to pick it.
And as the guys in the studio mentioned, the Celtics only 3 of 6. That's 50%, but normally they take and make a lot more threes, as Walker, Williams, and Pierce all with 10 points. Stackhouse with 16 tops the Pistons. Damon Jones with 3 threes has 11 off the bench. And here is Stackhouse with the first shot of the second half. Winds up in the hands of Pierce.
The 30-6 in points in the paint is the key. Plus the fact that Detroit is now shooting at least 25% after that miss in twos. Now you say, well, what's the big deal? Why the statistic? Well, the reason is because you cannot beat me just by shooting threes. You've got to get some two-point attempts, and they just cannot get good looks at the basket. Now, will the Celtic defense remain this intense? Well, we'll see.
Turnover, and Chucky Atkins going up and scoring. One of the names you mentioned that has to come through.
Well, he was in foul trouble, Dick. 3 quick fouls. He only played 7 minutes. And that's all Barry played. Now, these are 2 key guys. Why? Atkins shoots 41% in threes. Barry shoots 47. You need these 2 guys to give you their regular minutes.
So the first points from Chucky Atkins, who had a couple of prolific scoring games against Toronto. And the layup by Kenny Anderson coming right back at you.
Kenny Anderson is running right at Atkins every single time, and he's just taking him in the paint, backing him down, and going over the top.
Here's Atkins controlling, pulls up with the bank shot, rebound by Tony Batiste.
I like the game plan. The Celtic game plan tonight has been outstanding, and they've been able to execute it. Well, you execute it when you make shots.
And Cliff Robinson knocking the ball away is one of the top players in steals in the playoffs currently right now. So Stackhouse for 3, and he's got it. Stackhouse with 19 points and 3 threes tonight.
Well, the threes are keeping them in the game. They have attempted 17 already, and they've made 7. Now, that is a ton for a team like Detroit at this juncture of the game.
So it's 11 points with 2 minutes gone by. The Celtics leading as they have throughout. Anderson way off the mark, rushed that shot, and Wallace saves it for Detroit.
There you go. You need some good defense now and then execution.
And Robinson. And the rebound, and a good one as Eric Williams kept Stackhouse at bay. So the Celtics with the ball, early moments, third quarter, leading by 11, and they're going to call Cliff Robinson getting his knee in the action as we send it over to Heather Cox.
Dick, I talked to Coach Carlisle at the half. Offensively, Detroit wants to stop taking so many jump shots and penetrate more, getting higher percentage shots. Defensively, they feel they've been able to take away the three, but in doing so, allowed the Celtics to post up too much, evident with that 30-6 advantage. So look for Detroit to front down low, try to force the Celtics out of the paint before they catch the ball. Dick?
Is this pick your poison?
Well, it's easy to say, but difficult to do when a team has everything together.
And the three-point attempt by Eric Williams, rebound by Ben Wallace. 12 rebounds for Ben Wallace. Stackhouse coming back, in and out. So it is still the Celtics by 11. Kenny Anderson. And the reach-in foul called against Atkins.
Now think about this a second. Chucky Atkins averaged double figures during the season, double figures in the playoffs, and he's going to be on the floor for 3 minutes plus 10, and that's 10 minutes, and that is his 4th foul. They have taken him right out of the game because Kenny Anderson has been told to take him off the dribble. That everything that they put in their game plan has worked to this point.
And the green number 7 beating the white number 7, and that's one of the big matchups. Walker with the rush. Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse, 21 points, and they're going to need his scoring tonight because there is not much balance for Detroit offensively.
Dick, that's their first uncontested fast break layup. First one of the game.
Down by 9.
There they come. Their defense has been able to bring them back during the season.
Eric Williams.
Offensive foul. Good call.
So with all of the Celtic dominance in all the areas that we have chronicled, the Pistons very much in this, trailing by 9 and with the ball.
Now this is good defensive position right here. Stackhouse was right on Williams. As soon as he ran that reverse spin, you got to get the feel of defender before you make your reverse spin.
Eric Williams with 3 fouls. Curry going down to Ben Wallace. Wallace.
Got to make those.
Out of bounds. Last touch by Boston. You're right. Wallace with only 2 points in the game, but getting countless chances inside.
Yeah, he's not a big scorer. We all know that. And you can see he does not have a great touch. But the key is that he should play the board. He's that close. Play the board and stop trying to put the ball in with a swish from that angle. That's a tough angle.
Stackhouse at the free throw line, shooting over Pierce. Ill-advised. Pierce was in his face. He did not have a good look.
Well, let's see if the Celtics can answer this little rush here.
Anderson blocked by Wallace, gets the ball back with 12 on the shot clock. In the corner, Pierce, reverse layup.
Oh, beautiful play by Paul Pierce. Oh, what a tough move. He blew right by 3 white shirts.
So Pierce with 12, Walker with 10, that's 22. They have 37 between them in the losing game 1.
They continue to trap Stackhouse coming off that pick and roll.
Robinson with the jumper, so Robinson only his 2nd field goal.
Well, they need him. They need him to step up. He's your 2nd leading scorer during the season. We know he struggled in the Detroit series with only 10 points a game. He comes out of it with 30 in game 1. Well, you know he's not going to get 30, but he's got to get in the high double figures.
Here's driving in, and good defense that time by Curry. And here is Jones, who is now forced to play at the point.
Nice fake.
Robinson with a short jumper.
You need those. That was a nice move by Cliff.
9-point lead for the Celtics. And the 3-point attempt by Walker doesn't go. Damon Jones, who has scored 11 off the bench, including 3 from downtown. This crowd in a fevered pitch, despite the fact the Pistons trail, have never led. And a rushed short 3, that time by Cliff Robinson. Here's Anderson. No look pass to Pierce. And no, Petit in a traveling call against Tony Petit. Turns it over. Jim O'Brien trying to weather the storm.
Right now, your defense is working hard. You're getting the misses and the turnovers. Detroit is pushing the ball quickly. They're getting open shots, but the shots are all threes, and the balls are being shot short of the rim.
Here's Curry driving in. Basket counts and a foul.
You need more of that.
Michael Curry put a move on Eric Williams, gets to the basket, and the foul is against Williams, his fourth.
You need more of the ball fake on the kick out of the pass, and then take it off the dribble strong and hope that you can beat the defensive rotation of the Celtics.
Total Choice Premier. Order now.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Budget. Fast Break is our fastest way to rent a car. Find out more at budget.com. By E-Trade Financial. More of what you need to stay ahead in today's economy. And by the NBA. The playoffs continue. Love it live.
The Palace starting to come alive. Detroit making a run. And earlier tonight, Coach Carlisle became the first Piston coach of the year since Ray Scott received the award in 1974. He became just the sixth coach to win in his rookie campaign, joining some very elite company. But Carlisle told me that while he's honored to be with these six, including Doc Rivers and Larry Bird, he said the guy he'd most like to join when the playoffs end is Pat Riley, the last coach to win the NBA title in his first playoff run. Dick?
And who can blame him, Heather, as we look at the American Express leaderboard. And the interesting thing, when he went for his interview with Joe Dumars in the hotel here in Detroit, he said, name me one guy, did Joe Dumars say, who I can call who will give you the best recommendation. He said, call Donnie Walsh. Amazingly, Donnie Walsh passed him up on the Indiana job. So he had enough confidence, and Walsh knew what he could do. And all things worked out for Rick Carlisle.
We're very happy for Rick. He came in here, he established an offensive mindset and then a defensive mindset, made a key move, took Williamson out of the starting lineup, played Curry up there at small forward. Everything has worked for this team, and you win 50 games in the division.
Paul Pierce stops the bleeding with a jumper. He has 14 points, and the lead is 9.
The test on the road team always is you're up big. Now that home team comes back, makes a run at you. You call your timeout. Now let's see you grab a hole and escape.
Here's Curry for 2. Michael Curry, so the Pistons with Corliss Williamson on the bench with 3 fouls, cutting the 17-point deficit to 7 right now with 5 minutes remaining in the third. Under 5 to go. Pierce. Rodgers going back to Pierce.
Yeah, this is a real battle right there. Curry and Pierce.
Curry did the job on Pierce, holding him to 17 points in game 1 on 7 for 17 shooting. Here's Cliff Robinson looking for an open look, and he's got it.
Well, it's nice to see that he's not trying to settle for the 3. Because every time that Cliff has put the ball down, he's been able to get into that 8 to 10-foot mid-range game.
Kenny Anderson in trouble.
There you go. You got to get it out. Oh, great play by Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson tied up when it looked like he was going to lose the ball, so he will jump it up with 4:20 to go. And this crowd very much back in it. The throng of Piston fans looking for Detroit to take a 2-0 lead, and the Celtics looking to get it even going back to the Fleet Center on Friday.
Now, big thing for Celtics. Now, just remember how you got this lead. You went right back to isolations, good down screens, no pick and rolls. Stay away from that. Just get down in there and get back to what got you here.
Wallace with the easy jump victory against Anderson. Curry, Robinson for 3 from Curry. And the lead is 2.
Good timeout. Nice ball movement that time by Detroit. It's nice to see Robinson, by hitting that short 8 to 10-footer, he got the feel. He didn't hesitate on that spot-up.
I'm the open man.
The basketball is right here with Stackhouse. Keep an eye on Robinson here. You're seeing a defender on Stackhouse and then two big defenders here. The ball is being rotated. This is what we talked about at the top of the show. Right to Cliff Robinson in this spot. Antoine Walker is too late coming back on the rotation. This is what happened in game 1. This is what opened up for Cliff Robinson, where he made 6 for 10 threes.
Clifford Robinson has 7 points this quarter. Remember, he fell on that elbow in the first half, had to come out of the game as the Pistons have outscored the Celtics 18-6 here in this third quarter to come within 2.
Well, they're making it happen defensively, and this is the Detroit team that you were expecting to come out all along.
And a big basket by Rodney Rogers. He has 9 off the bench for Boston.
Well, Rogers in the game now for Petit makes them much more volatile at the offensive end of the floor.
Jones with Curry, Wallace, Robinson, and Stackhouse, and the scooping layup goes off the rim for Damon Jones, but he was fouled and will go to the line. Jones with 11 points and 3 3-pointers tonight. The personal is against Kenny Anderson. Tomorrow on TNT, the Hornets looking to come back, trailing 2-0 against the Nets. 7 p.m. start on TNT, and the Mavericks will host the Kings. That series is even. And then on Friday, we'll be at the Fleet Center as the Pistons and Celtics resume their best of 7, followed by the Lakers and the Spurs. That series tied 1-1. 1 free throw for Damon Jones. 3-point lead for the Celtics, who have led all the way tonight. And Rogers with a foray down the middle.
Well, you see, that's the mismatch that we talked about in the first half. When they take out Petit, bring in Rodney Rogers, then Wallace must play him. Well, that's a mismatch when Rogers posts up, spots up outside because he's such a great three-point shooter, and then he can take Ben Wallace off the dribble.
And Damon Jones called for the offensive foul for the Pistons as this crowd quieting somewhat. They want to see the Pistons continue to put the pressure on. They cut it to 2 after being down by as many as 17, shooting 50% from the field here in the third. And there's Pierce out to Anderson. Rogers has had a hot night. Pierce with a fake pass and missing the 3. Way off the mark was Pierce. Stackhouse. Now Curry. Jones left open. Rebound taken down by Rodney Rogers, so he has 9 rebounds tonight. Walker, long rebound. Jones has it with under 2.5 to play, third quarter.
During the season, the Celtics, we told you, attempt so many threes during the course, and then in the playoffs, they're averaging 24 attempts. So you know that Walker and Pierce take 8 a game.
Robinson now with 9 here in the third quarter. Jim O'Brien's Celtics lead cut to 3.
Right now, they need to buckle up defensively, and that means Walker. Walker's got to start paying more attention to Robinson because he's getting what he wants.
He has not scored in this third quarter. Under 2 minutes to play in the third. And here's Pierce backing in against Curry. Up and under, and another knee play on the baseline.
Once again, when the Celtic guys get down in that post area, anytime that you keep your dribble, do any type of up and under or power moves, you're getting the layup.
16 now for Pierce. Walker has not scored since the first quarter, and Stackhouse blanketed by Pierce, and they claiming double dribble, and I think that Pierce
the ball was knocked out of his hand. The ball was knocked out of his hand. That's what the referee is saying.
So again, here comes Kenny Anderson on the drive, and the foul is called. So, as you know, Atkins is on the bench with 4 fouls. Jones picks up number 3.
Now, this is just a great move by Pierce. Watch the fake, and now he steps underneath and lays it up and in. He has just shown so many moves here this evening. Off the dribble, down in the post, taking it to the rim from 15 to 20 feet outside, and then the three-point game.
Nearly a minute to go in the third. Eric Williams off the skip pass.
With this guy.
And Williams hitting the 3 has 13. Those are his first points here in the second half. And the lead is 8 for Boston.
Eric Williams, 2 for 2 in threes. High double fade, really doing a great job.
Robinson coming right back inside. 13 for Robinson, 9 in the quarter. And the stoppage of the clock.
Well, we have to love what Cliff Robinson is doing here. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, you look at this and you say, well, where was he in that first half? How come he could not get unglued? He's making it look so easy right now.
And the veteran of playoff wars just told the team to relax when it all started, because he has been now in 13 of them. 13 on the shot clock. Walker into Rodney Rogers with the lay-in. So Rogers now 13 off the bench and 9 rebounds, the only Celtic to score off the bench tonight.
Yeah, see, that's what they did, where they missed the shots on Sunday. They forced the switch. Damon Jones on Rogers down inside. Well, he went strong and made the field goal.
Robinson off the mark, and Wallace can't control it out of bounds. It'll go over to Boston, who can play for the last shot.
Yeah, see, Ben Wallace very upset. He thought the ball was hit out of his hand, or he thought he was hit where he lost control of the basketball to go out of bounds.
Shot clock off, of course, and the Celtics with Kenny Anderson out to Walker. Long-range Walker. And the Detroit Pistons had cut it to 2, only to see the Celtics come back. And it'll be an 8-point Boston lead as we go into the fourth quarter, with the Celtics leading the Pistons 67-59. Let's take a look at tonight's budget rent-a-car fast break. Check the points in the paint, 40-14. The Celtics even added to their margin in that third quarter, and paced by Paul Pierce, who has 16 points tonight. And Pierce remembers when he was the 10th pick in the '98 draft, thought he should be higher. He wrote down the teams who did not draft him, the players drafted ahead of him, served his motivation, and has come back big. And here is Kenny Anderson after the double team. Misses the shot. John Barry saves it. It's Barry, Robinson, Curry, Corliss Williamson in the lineup, along with Damon Jones.
Damon Jones on fire right now. You know, he's come off the bench, added 12 points to this club.
Curry guarded by Williams, and they go inside, and the basket by Corliss Williamson, who's been in foul trouble. He has 4.
Yeah, Corliss Williamson and Barry have got to step up. Atkins has taken himself out of the game with the 4 fouls. These are 3 key guys that got to give you points if you're going to get it done here.
Pierce with Rogers, Anderson, Walker in there as well, and Eric Williams. Paul Pierce driving hard, foul hard, and will go to the line for 2. Personal is against Cliff Robinson, 3 on him.
Now for Detroit naturally is staying in this game with the 3-point shooting. They have made 8 threes. They're shooting such a putrid 34%. Plenty of rebounds to be had, but they only have 5 offensive rebounds in this game. And when you're shooting that kind of a percentage, that is a low stat.
Well, Paul Pierce, not only is he going to the line for the first time tonight in the fourth quarter, but Walker has not gone to the line either. So small amount by those 2 stars. Curry putting the fake on Williams, and Williamson going up again. No foul, a lot of contact underneath.
Yeah, they thought there was a lot of contact. The fans are all gone berserk here. But, you know, good defense. They were right there. They challenged the shot.
8-point lead for Boston, as they look to even the best of 7, 1-1, and going home for 2 games starting Friday.
They know anytime that they clear out for Pierce, he can take his man. They also know that if he posts, or if they post Barry on that left side, it's money in the bank because it breaks the defense down.
Curry guarding Pierce with 5 on the clock. And here is Walker hitting the shot, and it's a 3. So Walker with his first point since the first quarter of this game, and the Celtics are up again by double digits. They're up by 11.
See, Pierce that time suckered the defense into the trap, and an excellent ball movement.
And here is Damon Jones finding Barry for 3.
There you go.
John Barry, second in the league this year in three-point percentage.
Yeah, he shoots it at 47, had a great first round. He and Williamson off the bench night in and night out were terrific. He needed that for himself to get going here tonight.
And a Piston foul with just under 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Michael Curry with his second personal foul, second team foul on Detroit. These teams, long playoff history. They played 6 times. Celtics won the first 3 series. Detroit has won the last 3. And they're going to get Curry defending and called for the foul against Pierce. So 2 in a row on him.
Yeah, Curry is really fighting, Paul, to get the catch, and it's forcing him far out. Now, some people will look at this and say, hey, that's offensive foul because he's backing him down. If Curry would try to hold him there with his forearm in his lower back, he might be able to get a better strength factor on him.
Well, this time Pierce just turns around and fires. And Pierce now with 20 points, so only in game 1 has he had less than 20 in the playoffs. Pass inside, trying to gather the loose ball was Williamson, and Curry from the perimeter. The rebound, Rodney Rogers, who has 10.
Williamson has got to come out of it because they need his points.
Pierce driving in and blocked, and the foul. Clifford Robinson looked like he had some of the ball, but they're going to call the foul. As both Barry and Robinson there, it's on John Barry.
Now this is just a strong move by Pierce to the basket. See, as they go up here right now, but they get him with the body. So yeah, sure they blocked the shot. Both defenders who went for the shot block caught him with the body.
So Pierce shooting 2, and right now let's take a look at the TNT Original Series Witchblade.
This June, New York's toughest cop is back. Witchblade. See the 2-hour season premiere Sunday, June 16th at 8 on TNT.
Pierce makes both free throws. Tony Battie back in the Boston lineup, and Antoine Walker going out, having scored 13. Celtics by 12, and it looks like they weathered that initial third-quarter storm.
Absolutely. They're just playing a very solid game here tonight.
Barry will pass to Jones for 3.
Air ball.
And the air ball. Barry had a chance for 3 there.
Yeah, see, they still cannot get that second chance opportunity. They just cannot keep the ball alive.
Again, Pierce. Played by Curry.
This guy's so tough. You notice the last 4 times down the floor, they've got to him every time.
And they don't double in there. The ball deflected out of bounds and turned over by the Celtics. And a timeout with 3.5 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. And another hill to climb for Detroit.
By Hyundai, Kenny Charles and Julius Erving will break down this game in Detroit, and you'll hear from the Sixers' Larry Brown a day after Allen Iverson held court for the Philadelphia media.
You know, you people have been around this kid before, and we know what he's about. That press conference was not typical of Allen, in my mind. I think we're dealing with a young kid that really wants to do what's right. And I'm the man who's been given this opportunity to see that that happens.
Well, it looks like they're going to be back together again, and it looks like an ongoing soap opera. And what can you say?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Here is Atkins back in the game, playing with 4 personal fouls. Atkins working his way in the lane. Tony Delk has come in for Boston, the rebound by Pierce, so it's Pierce with Battie, Tony Delk, Antoine Walker, and Eric Williams.
The Celtics had just pulled their necks, regrouped, and have just taken over this game and got right back into what they were doing and doing well. Now, Paul Pierce is saying, he yelled at Bernie Fryer, he's saying that defender was inside. Let's just see if that is true, if the guy was in there. Well, I thought his back foot was on the line. Both feet were on the line. So what you're looking for there are 2 shot attempts.
3 fouls on Pierce, but you're absolutely right the way the Celtics have gotten back, weathered that big storm by the Pistons. Williamson with Barry, Stackhouse, Atkins, and Robinson. And again, for Williamson, can't make it happen, Hubie.
No, it's one of the nights. He's now 2 for 10, and you know without he and Atkins and Barry coming up big for you, that takes the pressure, you know, to add the all-around scoring. It takes the pressure off the Stackhouse and Robinson that they can take a breather.
12-point lead, and the way the Pistons have been shooting threes, that's a 4-possession game, because they have had 2 solid games hitting from beyond the arc. John Barry, one of those threats. Now they go to Williamson, out to Stackhouse, guarded by Pierce. 5 on the clock. Stackhouse with a runner, off the mark, almost had the offensive rebound, batted out of bounds. Last touch by the Celtics. Stackhouse, who is shaken up, holding on to his side, is now 6 for 20 from the field.
Every shot that Detroit is taking off the dribble or with a curl move or any kind of movement, they are forcing them into bad percentage shots. The Celtic defense has regrouped, definitely dominating again, and let's see if they can sustain it now for the last 7 minutes.
As Jim O'Brien said, we were the 3rd best team field goal percentage defense this year, so they know they can do it. Under 7 to go, 4th.
They've eliminated the pick-and-roll game, the pick-and-spot-up game.
Atkins hitting a 3, so despite foul trouble, Chucky Atkins trying to give the Pistons some offensive firepower.
Well, you need him in the mix because he's good off the dribble. But you got to give Kenny Anderson a lot of credit. He put him in foul trouble quickly. 4 fouls, very few minutes on the floor.
So a 9-point game, 5 on the shot clock. Tony Delk against the double team, and the shot from corner, Eric Williams. Eric Williams, and if this were coming with 2 minutes to go, I'd say it would be a dagger in the heart.
How about this? He's 3 for 4 in threes. And you say, well, we want him to shoot the 3. Well, that's some out of playoff time. He's making them in the playoffs.
With 1 second on the shot clock, no doubt. And here is Clifford Robinson with the 3-point attempt, and the Celtics leading by 12, under 6 to go, 4th quarter. Pierce guarded by Jerry Stackhouse. Finding the open man, Delk off the mark. And Robinson boxing out Petit for the rebound.
You know that you can slow the game down, run seconds off the clock, just by clearing out Pierce on that left side. You can control and have clock management all in your favor. Plus, you know he'll eventually be double teamed, and you are going to get an open shot.
And questions about their future. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are focused on only one thing: an NBA championship. The Hornets versus the Nets tomorrow on TNT.
For the Celtics, it's been so far a wire-to-wire game. They're leading by 12 points. And the impression you get is that everything that the Pistons have done tonight has been labored, and everything the Celtics have done has looked so fluid.
Absolutely, Dick, 100%. I like the game plan of the Celtics. Plus, we said at the top, Rodgers and Petit gave them nothing in game 1. Tonight, between the 2 guys, 19 points at that center position. That was not there in game 1.
Atkins and Robinson. Everything has been a struggle for Detroit offensively.
Well, their foot quickness tonight has just been outstanding.
And Williamson loses it out of bounds on the turnover.
You have to give them the credit because they have not allowed Williamson to come into this game and then dominate with the points. Now, in the Toronto series, he would come in the game and get anywhere from 14 to 18 points game after game after game in a short period of time.
Approaching 5-minute mark here in the 4th. Pierce again defended by Stackhouse, leaving Anderson open, and he hits. Kenny Anderson, playing his second sterling game, has 11 points.
Well, if you notice here in the second half, Paul Pierce, they've highlighted him time and time again down the floor, and he has answered.
Here is the pick and roll, and Wallace is fouled going to the basket. The Pistons, in a big third quarter spurt, cut a 17-point deficit to 2. But that is where it ended for Rick Carlisle's Pistons, and the Celtics steadied the ship and have now opened up a 14-point lead with Wallace on the line.
Well, that's when the emphasis of Paul Pierce happened. The timeout, they came out of the timeout, and then they emphasized Pierce time and time and time again. He made 3 field goals out of 4 possessions. Then all of a sudden, another timeout happened at the Detroit end, and now if you notice, he once again is in charge of this game.
Lane violation, and so Wallace, who missed the second free throw, will go back to the line for another chance.
Well, you know that every time Ben Wallace gets the ball in a dunking situation, the Celtics are going to foul him. He's a 42% free throw shooter for the year. They're going to force him to make the foul shots and not give him the dunk attempt.
And he misses this one. Walker the rebound. Another key moment moments ago after Atkins hit the 3 to cut it to 9. Eric Williams came back right away with a 3.
Eric Williams has 3 threes tonight. Just big-time points. Oh, bad turnover.
Walker turned it over and committed the blocking foul. So the Celtics, who had not committed a team foul until the last few moments, now have picked up 2. Walker with his 3rd person.
Now to the end of this game, 4.5 minutes, plus in their preparation for the game on Friday night. Detroit has got to figure out how they're going to get good looks at the basket inside of this 3-point line, and then how are they going to get second shot attempts if they are going to continue to shoot a percentage under 35.
You would think with Robinson and Wallace they would get a bundle of those.
Well, offensive rebounding is always dictated by where your players are, your front court players, when that shot goes up. Do they have an opportunity to get to the board?
Walker fouled by Williamson. Corliss Williamson, the NBA 6th man of the year, and struggling tonight with 4 personals and only 4 points on a night the Pistons sorely needed his offensive prowess.
You look at Corliss Williamson's game. During the year, half a game, would come in, shoot over 50%, get you 5-6 rebounds. First round of the playoffs, he came in 26 minutes a game, did exactly the same thing. 14 points, 5-6 rebounds, shot over 50%. Tonight, he struggled.
Celtics by 15. This crowd senses that the Boston Celtics will even this series as Stackhouse drives in, fouled by Tony Petit. And the Celtics, and again, we've got to go back to how they had to play game 1 less than 48 hours after an emotional and dramatic win at the Fleet Center against the 76ers.
That's why we use that at the top of the show. Any time that you coach in this league and you win a series on a Friday night, you're playing a Sunday afternoon television game. The pressure on your staff to prepare only 1 practice, travel, and then play either a 12:30 or a 3 o'clock game. Your players are still on a high about winning and closing out that first round series. You've got to get their minds back into the game. It is a struggle for a staff and the players themselves.
10 on the shot clock. Pierce driving in. Good defense by Stackhouse, challenging him all the way. And Atkins with 3.5 minutes to go. Nice. And the 3 by Stackhouse. So 25 points. Stackhouse hitting 4 from beyond the arc. And it cuts the lead to 11. And the Celtics in no hurry with 3 minutes and 18 to go. Kenny Anderson using a screen from Walker, but he gets a new clock.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dick. He knew that he shot that short. He was running into the lane for the rebound. And then you just back it out, you run some clock. The clock is your friend. The big thing is do not stop the clock.
And there is Eric Williams on the rebound. So Eric Williams coming in unblocked, getting the lay-in, and again a 13-point lead as Rick Carlisle calls a timeout. Time running out. Eric Williams with a career playoff high, 18 points this evening.
Order now.
Under 3 minutes remaining. The Celtics leading 85-72. Coming up on Inside the NBA, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, and the special guest, Dr. J. Julius Erving will be in the studio to bring you post-game coverage and the latest in the Philadelphia story. A former great movie in the 30s and a current soap opera with Allen Iverson and Larry Brown. 2:45 remaining, and Jerry Stackhouse guarded by Pierce. Barry, really tough for the Pistons to get their shots tonight. Here is Robinson off balance with the air ball, and it goes out again to Detroit. 1 on the shot clock. Atkins fires it up, and he got it off in time, but it'll be Boston ball. Interesting when you look at the 1-2 punch of Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce. They had 37 in game 1 and lost. They averaged 48 on the year, 52 in the playoffs. They have 37, but they got help tonight from Eric Williams and Rodney Rogers.
Yes, they've had great games. The people, the supporting cast. And you like what you're seeing right now. This is smart basketball. You run the clock. Everything is in your favor here right now.
3 on the shot clock. Pierce with a long, talk about downtown, that's from another town, but the Celtics keep it alive with an offensive rebound, and Jim O'Brien wants a 20-second timeout.
Yeah, he's not happy with the flow when they are trying to get things going here right now. You can see he's bringing his guys over here right now, and he's going to dictate to them in the last 157 what he wants and how he wants to run the clock. At the other end of the floor, they have done a magnificent job tonight in defending the pick and spot up or the pick and roll of Detroit. They have tracked it hard, and then the man playing the dribbler has not allowed the dribbler to get into the painted area. They flatten them out, and they keep them out beyond the three-point line. They've answered the call tonight. Remember, you're looking at the clock, and the Pistons have 72 points with 1:57 on the clock.
And Eric Williams inbounding. #1 draft pick in '95, traded to Denver, reacquired 2 years later, and the Celtics delighted that they made that reacquisition. 9 on the shot clock. Walker over Robinson, another long-range shot. And the Pistons come back down by 13. Nearly a minute and a half to go. Robinson, and it goes over the top, turning it over after the three-point miss to the Celtics.
The ball hit the shot clock up above the backboard. Automatic violation.
Rough couple of days for Detroit sports fans with the Red Wings losing to the Blues last night, and the Pistons heading for defeat tonight with under a minute and a half to go. Kenny Anderson, what a marvelous game he has played tonight.
He's really handled the basketball. He's run the offense exactly the way planned. The game plan has been terrific. He's been able to get them into what they do and what they do best. Now, Jimmy O'Brien in that first half, because the basket was in front of the bench, he was calling all of the plays. Now you can see Kenny Anderson was upset right there with himself, because naturally as you're blowing smoke on him, you know, he turns around and they have a turnover.
And Wallace stuffs it through. And getting it back, Robinson missing a 3, and Pierce battling Wallace, and Pierce controls, and it's out of bounds. The Celtics will have it with under a minute to go. 21 seconds on the shot clock, leading by 11. And, you know, from the very start, they were focused, they had a plan, and they carried it out beautifully.
The big test for Detroit, because the building will be rocking in Boston on Friday night. The big test for Detroit, how are we going to get higher percentage two-point shot looks at that basket? Because tonight, when they break down this film, they're going to see. They were not intimidated, but they were challenged on every release, and they ended up with a lot of poor shot percentage attempts.
Here's John Barry hitting the 3. And not only that, the Pistons will be going to Boston Friday for Game 3, where they have lost in 2 blowouts this year by 14 and 25 points. So they were never in the games in Boston this year, and now they've got to go there with the series tied 1-1. So the Celtics steal one in Detroit and finally break the mold where home teams have won in both of these teams' prior series And tonight the Celtics win a big one on the road. And Antoine Walker and Clifford Robinson have an exchange as this game ends. See you in Boston, Walker may be saying, but it'll be interesting to see how the Pistons respond. Final score, the Boston Celtics 85, the Detroit Pistons 77. This best of 7 is tied 1-1 as we send it out to Heather Cox.
I'm joined by Paul Pierce, who had 22 points in Game 2. Now, Paul, this is the Celtics' first playoff road win. How much confidence does that give you guys?
It gives us a lot of confidence because one, it shows we can win on the road against a quality ball club, and two, now we have the home court advantage. So we're going to go home with a lot of confidence and hope to get 2 more wins.
Detroit made a run in the third quarter, cutting a 17-point deficit to 2. How'd you guys stop the bleeding?
Well, we said at the half they're going to come out and make a run. That's why they're one of the top teams in the East, and we withheld it, you know, pushed the lead back up to 9 or 10, and we sustained.
What about Game 3 Friday night, playing back in the Fleet Center?
Oh, you know, it's going to be crazy there. You know, I hope our fans are watching, they're getting ready, because it's going to be a madhouse.
All right, Paul, congratulations. The Celtics very satisfied, leaving Detroit with a split. Dick?
I would think so, Heather. And Eric Williams with a career playoff high 18 points. And Antoine Walker chipped in with 15. Jerry Stackhouse 25 in defeat, but shot only 7 of 22 from the field. So once again, our final score, the Celtics 85, Pistons 77. For Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, our producer Jay Hoover, director Billy McCoy, Rodney Vaughn, Monica Campbell, Jeff Paris, Marty Aronoff, and the rest of our TNT crew, this is Dick Stockton. Good night from Detroit. And we'll send you to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta after this break.